6, 5, 4.
NASA's Ares 1X underway at last.
Ignition and liftoff of Ares 1X. Testing concepts for the future of new rocket design.
It's the first time in 40 years the space agency has designed, built and tested a rocket intended eventually to take men back to the moon. Wednesday's liftoff was delayed for 24 hours after storm clouds rolled over the launch pad, and many see the bad weather in Florida as a metaphor for U.S. space ambitions and NASA's future.
I would not fly on it.
Aerospace analyst Charles Vick thinks Ares 1X is too slender, could easily break apart, and is already out-of-date technology.
This launch vehicle is not right. It's not right for a manned lunar effort. It does not give us the capability to carry the spacecraft we really wanted. It doesn't have the payload capacity to replace the space shuttle.
President Obama has on his desk a report into manned spaceflight by the high-level Augustine panel that warns NASA's budget for going back to the moon is too small, plus there's little public appetite for it. A case of been there, done that. The Augustine report recommends NASA take some baby steps, in part to rekindle the enthusiasm of the American people, including a circumnavigation of the moon, a trip to a distant telescope, a landing on one of the moons of Mars, and finally a manned spacecraft flight landing on Mars itself.
Liftoff.
If Obama does abandon the moon, he's still got to find a replacement for the shuttle fleet, not just to give NASA something to focus on, but also to boost ailing US manufacturers who could use the work right now, and to service the International Space Station that could last at least another 10 years. In these tough economic times, analysts think there's a good chance Obama may turn to aerospace companies who normally put up satellites for a living to help finance future manned spaceflight, but only with NASA's guidance.
They've got to earn their stripes as a part of an industry that is established, NASA that is established, so that they truly can provide those services because they do not have the demonstrated experience at this point.
As Ares 1X takes off, it's far from clear whether NASA's future will take off too. Public or private, the moon or Mars, and what astronauts actually do once they get there are all questions that for NASA involve much more than mere rocket science. John Terrett, Al Jazeera, Washington.